Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to be talking about Cobra Kai Season 6. Now, this is the final season in the sequel show to the Karate Kid trilogy, and it follows this big, grand tournament, the Sekai Takai. I hope I pronounced that right, where everything comes to a head. It's the world championship for, the best dojo. And, of course, you have Miyagi-Do, which is, the main one at this point, but you also have Cobra Kai rearing its head back up with, Kreese showing up to take control of that mantle, and you have a bunch of other competitive dojos, which is one of the main ones being the Iron Dragons, which I'll talk about in a second, and, old enemies become, I guess, frenemies, if you will, where they team up to work together. Old, people from the past show up, and it's just this big, grand, epic type of conclusion on, who will come out on top, who will win, and it's like this grand thing. All right, great. So I just wanted to really quickly say how really impressive it is that this show ends how it does, because we see this a lot where shows start out and they're great and people like them overall, and then by the end they kind of fizzle out or have, endings that aren't as satisfying, if you will. We've seen this before with stuff like Game of Thrones. Infamously, a lot of people did not like how that ended. Or maybe with The Sopranos, which I can think of, where it just cuts to black. And so there's a lot of great shows that don't have great endings. And this show was able to overall give a satisfying and well done ending for the characters as a whole, because there's a lot of main focal points, and one of my main praises for the show is being able to juggle all these different storylines, all these different characters, and for the most part it ends them all in a really satisfying way. But a criticism I did have, unfortunately, is how the season aired, and that may not sound like a bad thing, but it really affects how you watch it, because I waited for everything to come out, which is why this review came out a bit late, so I can binge it all and then just do one video. But how the season plays out, you can tell when one part would end and another would begin, and it kind of is like a tonal shift on the first, I think 5 episodes, I'd say, is part 1, where it's them, learning about, more details about the tournament, who will be able to compete, doing some backup and setup for the characters, some newly introduced and some not, and where they're at in their journeys, and it's just a filler type setup. Part 2 is the initial like tournament stuff and all, until the tragedy and craziness that happened at that final episode of part 2, and then part 3 is a bit more of everyone picking up the pieces, getting the tournament back up, and then finally we're at the main final confrontation of the dojos. And so it kind of goes like a roller coaster, up and down, in terms of, really digging the story or just really thinking it's kind of, not it. And not to say the slow parts weren't, interesting and good, but that type of trajectory kind of lowered my opinion of the overall season. And I really do think it was this strategy of doing this releasing in parts, which I remember, I think the main one that started that was Attack on Titan, where they kept doing the final season, part 1, 2, 3, Infinity, and that really pissed off a lot of people. And I guess a lot of other show creators and companies wanted to do that for some reason, because we saw Stranger Things do it to a smaller scale with the season 4, where they released part 1, and then a month or 2 later they released part 2. And it kind of sours a lot of people's interest, I feel like, in my opinion, of the overall quality of the season. And that was my main critique here with how the tonal shifts were for the season, how it kind of felt jarring, when you finish one part and you start another. And that's really unfortunate, but other than that, and there is one other thing that a lot of people complain about, which I have to say, the use of Mr. Miyagi in here, and there's like AI type uses and stuff, I really did not like that at all. I think that was kind of disrespectful, and it sets a dangerous precedent where they're going to start edging it in slowly into our future movies and shows, and I think that could be really dangerous. I did hear, I don't know if this is true, but I did hear that the family of the actor gave permission, so you can kind of let it slide, but I think we should still acknowledge that they shouldn't be doing this, and it just feels wrong. They could have recasted, they could have gotten a different actor for that. I just think that wasn't great. But besides that, again, overall, the season was really satisfying, especially near the end. Like, the stuff with John, Kreese and Johnny Lawrence was fantastic, especially that one emotional scene. Incredible stuff. A lot of people have been giving praise to the actor for Johnny Lawrence, William Zappakai, and saying he should get nominations for maybe an Emmy or something. I definitely agree. Like, he should be talked about at least, because like, this show really at the end of the day was very focused on him from the start, and I think that his journey throughout the show was fantastic. Same with a lot of the other characters, like Daniel LaRusso as well, and his journey. I just think seeing the characters, how they started, and just following them over the years to just see this pay off is really satisfying to see. Some other characters do get a bigger chance to shine. Like, Tori goes through a lot in this season, how it feels like everything's going right for her and all, and then the tragedy with her mom, and then going to the Cobra Kai with Kreese, and by redeeming herself by the end with that fight against that one girl from the Iron Dragon, Zara. Just everything with that was great. Miguel, really coming in clutch and giving the motivational speeches, and he was just the MVP throughout the season as well. And it was really satisfying to just see how everything concluded. Again, the fight sequences were great. Some of the new additions, like the one dude who played the sensei from the Iron Dragons, I remember seeing him from the Mortal Kombat movie, and he was great, and he loved playing the villain. I've seen from his social media. He was great for what he did. I wish there was more development, though, in fleshing him out, but that's just a little bit of a nitpick there. They could have maybe given him and that dojo more screen time. Seeing, Silver return and seeing that final confrontation with him and Kreese on the yacht was great. And overall, I think the season was really satisfying with a lot of ways. It juggled so many different characters and so many moving parts. It's just really impressive how far we've come with this show, and really given new life into the Karate Kid franchise, which hopefully turns into success with the new movie Karate Kid Legends coming out later this year. But with all I said, those are my thoughts on Cobra Kai Season 6. Again, really great season. Not as great as some of the other ones, but it stuck the landing, which is the main critical point for me, is sticking that landing and being a satisfying conclusion, although it did have a lot of issues, and it's probably my least favorite of the entire show. But the moments that are really great, especially in those last couple episodes, really carry it to another level. But again, what do you all think of this show and season? Please let me know down below in the comment section. And if you want to hit the bell as well to get notified of when I upload, that would mean so much to me. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.